Hello. For today's basket tutorial, we will be using a size 8mm crochet hook. We will need 4 stitch markers, a tapestry needle, a pair of scissors, and the yarn that we're using is from Premier Yarns, Deborah Norville collection, Serenity, in the color Toasty. And my other yarn is from Red Heart Super Saver in the color Aran.
Additional materials that we will be using. Here I have, it's a dark brown and it's called Coffee is the color name by Red Heart. And I also have here plastic canvas. I'm using black to go with the dark colors that I'm going to be using. I've purchased 2 of them. So those will be additional. Of course, this is extremely optional, and the coloring is as well, but I'm showing you what I am using.
To begin, we're going to use one of each of the 2 yarns, and we're going to make our slip knot. Now we're going to chain 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. In the second chain from the hook, 1, 2, place 1 single crochet and continue the single crochets down. So we will be adding 6 more for right now. In our last chain, we will start our increase. Single crochet, chain 1, and with a marker, mark your chain 1, chain 1 in the same space, single crochet in the same space, chain 1, another marker in that chain 1 space, and the same hole, the last single crochet. This will make it so that we're going around. So this is what we have so far. To continue down the other side, we are going to be going under the 2 from the chain stitch. So let's place our single crochet right there. And our next one. Remember to go over your tail as well, and that'll lock it in. And here we are to where our chain 1 space is before we made our first single crochet at the beginning of the row. So place 1 single crochet in there, chain 1, place a stitch marker in your chain 1, and single crochet in the same space, chain 1. Do not place a marker because we're now starting to widen. So in our first stitch after our chain 1, place your single crochet, chain 1, place your last marker, and single crochet in the same space. And this is what we have so far. Let's continue on. We're going to single crochet down to the end where our stitch marker is. So single crochet, making sure you pick up both loops of the chain stitch from the previous row of single crochets. And here we are at our first chain 1 space. You can go ahead and take out your marker. We will replace it. So in that chain 1 space right there, place your first single crochet, chain 1, replace your marker, and single crochet again in the same space. Now in our next space, we do a single crochet, and here is our chain 1 again. Take out our marker, and in that space, single crochet, chain 1, replace that marker, and I think you can see the sequence here. Single crochet in the same space. This is what's going to make our increase, and you notice how we are getting our rectangle square. Now you'll also notice too that when you place that second single crochet in, it has a tendency to lean over. Make sure you pull it back and go for the stitch that's right next to it, because sometimes it can accidentally get missed. You don't want to do that, because that'll make it so that it'll basically take that increase and decrease it immediately. So we're going to go down here to the end, and I'm going to show you this. This will basically be our first row of increases. I'm showing you this because the repeat is exactly the same. So here I am coming up on my stitch marker. And go ahead and take that out. Now in between the two, we want to single crochet, chain 1. Oops. Sometimes my long fingernails make it so I can't pick things up. I went to the salon yesterday. Don't they look nice? I thought she did a very beautiful job. I like the simple designs. I am a pipe fitter by trade. I work in a shipyard, and with all the hard work that I do on my hands, sometimes it's nice to have nice looking fingers. Yes, what is a pipe fitter doing crocheting? It's just something I enjoy. I've been doing it for a very long time. I grew up doing it with all these other domestics in my house. So enough about me. We placed our second single crochet. Now we're into our single crochet space, and here we do have our chain from the previous row. Place a single crochet in that. It will be a little tight. That's okay. We will get it through. There we go. And here's another single crochet. Now here is our chain 1. So we want to place our single crochet, chain 1, and single crochet in the same space. Okay. Don't forget to replace your stitch marker. And around we go. Okay, so this is what we have so far. Keep on going around for another 6 times until you get the width and the length. And I will meet you there, and I'll show you how to finish this. Remember to replace your stitch markers every time you do your corner, and this will help keep it square. How are you doing? This is my progress so far. You'll also notice too that you can see the angle that the 2 single crochets in that chain 1 space is making. You can see the line go out. So continue on. Let me get you a measurement. So far mine measures about 7.5 by 4.5. And I'm going to make mine bigger because I plan on putting yarn in it, so I have a ways to go. You can do any size you want. You know, yarn comes in various sizes, so you can do whatever size you like, or if you plan on using it for something else. So continue on, and I will show you what to do when we get to start building our sides. This is how big I am going to make mine. It measures about 10.5, almost 11 inches by 7.5 inches. Now, to make sure that you have the exact rows on either side, you start from the center and count your rows. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. However many you have chosen to be the size of your basket, make sure that you have the exact same rows on each side. Once you have done that, you can go ahead and remove your stitch markers, because we will not be using them again for right now. So go ahead and do that. Count your sides make sure you have the same number all the way around, and stop just before the chain 1. So you'll be stopping just before the single crochet of the corner, and I'll meet you there. The look that we're trying to achieve is to have this chain look all the way around. So for our last stitch, we are going to do a back post single crochet that'll start on the one side of that first single crochet of the corner and go into the corner space and do a slip stitch. Make sure you pick up all your threads. Let me loosen this up so you can see what I have here. You see how we got it to join there? Okay, so now we're going to chain 2, and now we're going to start on our sides. The stitch that we'll be using is a half double crochet on our sides. So the first one we want to do is in the same stitch that we did for our closing of the last row. We want to do another, whoops, I forgot to wrap my yarn around. We want to go around and do another back post on that same first single crochet of the corner. There we go. Okay, so here's our first half double crochet, and we're trying to keep the chain look to go around the edge to give it a nice bottom look. Now the next one we're going to do is go around the next, do another back post. Now if you notice, what I do is I go above the stitch. This is the bottom half of the stitch. This is the chain at the top of the stitch. So there's that one loop, or those two little top parts of the stitch that I use to make my back post for this particular look that I'm trying to achieve, and then complete your half double crochet. You see how you still see your chain stitch there? So let's continue on. We're going to go through and do to the other side. Okay, so we have our half double crochets here. We can still see our chain. Continue this all the way around. When you get to the corners, just do the single crochet. Don't worry about the chain. That's just for the expansion. And I'll see you when we get to the beginning of the chain 2. To complete our row, we're going to slip stitch right here. Here's our half double crochet, so we want to slip stitch right here. And then chain 2. And this is what we have so far. We're going to have to train it up just a little bit, but this is what we will have, where it looks like you have a chain along the edge. Here's our half double crochets. Okay, so let's continue on. We're going to place one half double crochet in each stitch around, and I'll meet you back here at our chain 2. We'll start our pattern on the next row. At the end of this row, we have our little lip right here. We're going to go ahead and place a single crochet, a slip stitch in the first half double crochet. And this row we will start our pattern. Chain 2, and in the same stitch that you did your half double crochet, your slip stitch, place 1 half double crochet, and in the next stitch we're going to drop down. So we'll drop straight down under, take our hook and go all the way through, bring it up, and bring up your loop until it's even with the row, and then complete your half double crochet. And then the next stitch we place a half double crochet in. This will cause the look to have a longer, instead of just the short, it'll have the longer look. So we did the one, now we're going to do another one. So in the next stitch, go down below it, come up, and complete that half double crochet. Can you see the look here? So this is our pattern for all the stitches around. Half double crochet, and then in the next stitch drop your half double crochet. Alright, continue these two all the way around, and I'll meet you when we finish our row here. This is our pattern across, and I'm here at the end of our row. I'm going to slip stitch into the first half double crochet, and I'm going to chain 2. Okay. At the beginning of the previous row, we started with a half double crochet, not the long one. Well, this row that we just chained 2 up, we're going to start with the long one. So you'll notice that in the making of this basket, the beginning of the row will either be the short half double crochet or the long one. So this particular one, we're going to make a long one. Okay, and where the long half double crochet is, we're going to make a short one. Can you kind of see the basket weave effect? So in the next one, we're going to make a long one. And for the long one, we're going to make a short one. Okay, you can also see how it's starting to go up. So continue this around. When you get to the end, slip stitch into the first half double crochet, whether it's long or short, chain 2, and if your first one is long, make it the short one, and then continue on with the pattern. Do this for a couple more rows, and I will meet you before you get done, because what we're going to do is we're going to take our other color here and we're going to make it just a solid color, because I'm using this like variegated stone wash one with this. The upper part will be the white in color, or the separate color. So go ahead and go around doing the opposite for each one, and I'll see you in a couple more rows.
so far, this is what I have after a few rows. I'm going to be doing a few more rows, so continue on.
Moving on to my second color, which will be the white, and I will be placing it here. I stopped with the half double crochet before the slip stitch that I'm going to make. I made some little balls. I made 2 of them so that I can use them to go with my skein of yarn here. So let's take one of the two balls, because we're going to need the 3 yarns of the white that I'm using, and we're going to continue on and start this new row. So go ahead and insert your hook, leave a little tail, and bring it through, and this will complete our slip stitch. And then be sure to snug up the other colors so that they're not loose when you start your next row. Then go ahead and let's chain 2. Okay, so for this row we have a long half double crochet, so we're going to start with a short one. So with the tail we're going to bring it across, and with our first stitch being the short double crochet or half double crochet, we're going to go ahead and make 1. We're going to continue on with the same pattern stitch, so the next one will be a long one. I'm going to carry my tail across as well, and I'm going to drop down below the half double crochet and pick up and complete it. And this is what the new color will start looking like. I'm going to do this for probably 2 or 3 rows. It's the same as what we've been doing. When you get to the end, slip stitch in the top of the half double crochet, chain 2, and continue on. I'm then going to use my dark brown. You see I have it in a ball. I will divide it so that I can have 3 strands from it as well, and I'll meet you then.
Here is the finished look of my basket. You'll see that it has this really nice weave going on, and I did use the 3 colors, the Stonewash Variegated, the Aran, and the coffee color, which is a dark brown. I don't know if it'll show up that way in this video. The inside is very large. Here's what's left of my skein. I'm planning on using it for a yarn basket so that I can put my yarn in it and have it come out while I crochet. The sides here you can bring it through with a crochet hook, your yarn, and it will be useful for that purpose. So the next thing that we're going to be doing, for those that want to continue on, is the lid that will go on the top of this basket here. So I'll be making mine with the Aran and use the variegated for the trim, and I ran out of this coffee, or I might be able to find some more of it. If not, I might have to go to black or something, or just use the the variegated again. But the next thing I'll be showing you is how to make the lid for our little basket here. If you want to get a head start, we're going to start with chain 7 and do the same thing that we did for the bottom here. And I will meet you then.
Here you see the bottom of my basket. The lid, if you choose to make one, is done the exact same way we did the bottom. So instead of me repeating what we did, the chain 8 and the 7 single crochets, and you know, all that stuff we did at the beginning with our stitch markers as well. Go ahead and go back to the beginning of our video, and when it comes time to where you have the same size as what your bottom is, you'll do the same thing here. You'll just do 1 row of half double crochets the same way we did, so that we have this nice braided chain look finish to the top. So go ahead and do that, and I'll show you what mine looks like when I am completed. Okay, here I have finished my lid, and here's the side of my basket. I did not have enough of the brown. I'm going to go to the store and buy some more so I can have 2 rows so that it will blend in with the design here, so I don't lose it. So here is the top, and my idea was to put my calla lilies right here on top. I just threw them up here, so that's the way it goes. But I wanted to share the finished product, so I hope you have your chance to make this basket. I think it looks super cute. It was super easy to make, and I hope to see you in another video. Thank you so much for watching and participating with me in making this basket. Have a great day and happy crocheting. So after I have completed my top, I used the 3 colors to make it all blend so nicely. I cut out my plastic canvas to fit the bottom size that would give it to the same size up here at the top. I did not have enough brown. I wanted to make 2 rows so I'd have a nice little lip here. So I'm only showing 1, but you need 2. Okay, I also have the second plastic canvas, which I have not cut out yet, but I will. And what you do is, after you put it on here, you kind of want to tack it into the corners, or if it'll fit right in there, go ahead and do that. If it's stiff enough, you might not need it. I think mine is stiff enough, but I wanted the extra support because I'm using to put yarn in my basket. I purchased some decorations to go onto the top because I'm planning on putting my calla lilies. So I have this one large fern, and I found the beads. I will be super gluing these on, or hot glue. So let me stand above it here. So the idea is that I was going to take my calla lilies. That was from my recent video. As you can see, I haven't sewn the bottoms on yet. And I'm going to make like a nice little design here for my calla lilies. Of course, all of this stuff will be cut off. And oops, this fell off of one of the lilies. But that was the idea behind it. So, if you choose to make this, or if you choose to make the calla lilies and then make them all together, I hope it turns out beautiful for you like it has for me.